My first guest is a communication strategist, brand manager, respected speaker, and author. With over 15 years of experience, her attention to detail, vision, and ability to execute has enabled her to work with the likes like Kevin Edmonds, Megan Good, Kathy Sledge, and a host of Fortune 500 companies. Tonight, we're going to discuss in detail her motto, living your truth. So, without further ado, please welcome, give a hearty welcome to none other than the one and only Miss Monica Call.
Good evening.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Did I mess up again?
It's Kevon Edmonds.
Oh, you know what? Kevin,
Absolutely, honest mistake.
I do these things so much. Everybody on the show is so used to it. But I appreciate that because, brother from After 7, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I knew that. And Monica, I see you have a storied history in real estate. I like to bring people up to speed with your life, your journey. You were the first black woman in Boston to hold quite a few positions. What were some of those, if you could just enlighten us?
Well, in terms of being the first, it was being the first black woman real estate broker for any major real estate firm in the New England area, and then also the first black person to hold the operations role. So I ran the New England area for a while, and then the first black person that actually this particular real estate company had hired ever in the New England area.
Well, that certainly is impressive, especially for the New England area. I mean, those of you who've been up there, lived up there, or visited, that is a high accomplishment. I want to jump right in. By the way, you're listening to the conversation we're on with Ms. Monica Cost, and if you have a question, you're online or you're listening to the Internet, just dial 917-932-1078, but I need you to hit the number 1 button, and I'll know you got a question, and we'll go right to you when we get a chance. I want to jump right in. Where did the notion of being able to help people and companies build a viable brand come from? I mean, how was Evidently Assured born?
Well, when I started my career early, I was in auditing, actually. I studied finance, believe it or not, and when I worked at this insurance company, I just remember, and, for those that are listening and you know people that are in your life or at your workplace that you tend to gravitate towards them to tell them about whatever's going on in your life. It could be the fact that the manager made you angry or, that your significant other is getting on your nerves. Well, for some reason, my desk became that place. And so often what people came to talk about was their frustration at work around promotions or management or company policy. And so I think for a stretch of time, I kind of got sick of it, being the person that felt like the dumping ground. And so I started being very honest in my feedback with people because some of the folks I knew had certain characteristics that could use some work. And so I started to give them very real feedback around that and thought that they would go away. Well, quite the opposite happened. They would implement some of these things and then circle back for more advice. And so I continued to do this over time, and I actually started to enjoy it. And then a very good friend of mine said to me, when are you going to start charging people for what you do? And I said, charging people for what? And she said, because I would explain to her, this is, someone came up to me and I would tell her about the various situations and the advice I gave. And then she said, you are actually changing the trajectory of people's careers in the advice that you're giving, and people charge for that. And I'm like, no kidding, like who? And so I did some research, and lo and behold, people actually really do charge for this kind of information. And so it was cost image development when it was first born, and then people, because of my last name, it's just a negative association with the word cost. People think about money and finances and payments, and so, and then I thought about, I wanted it to last beyond Monica, so I didn't want my name necessarily on it, so that someone else could run it one day. But and so I thought of evidently assured, which means obviously confident, because that's what I wanted people to come away with, was once we finished doing what it is I wanted to do with you, that you could be secure in your brand and reconciling how you present yourself with how other people perceive you.